Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, and my sources inside Lucasfilm have told me...
Yeah, so we've heard that Donald Glover is coming back as Lando.
Really?
In his own series.
Wow, that is not who I would have ever guessed.
Yeah.
Everything you've heard about me is true. Thanks, love.
What's up, Acolyte Squad? My name is Prince and I'm an urban acolyte. Today, I want to talk about the Lando Calrissian rumors about Donald Glover playing Lando on a Star Wars series over on Disney+.
Captain Lando Calrissian.
You heard that right. It's the return of Pimp Juice. They only want me for my pimp juice. Ooh, I think I better cut her loose. Now, this rumor broke from Noah and Corey over on the Kessel Run Transmissions podcast. Unlike that Dr. Dork guy who makes videos about fake rumors from a non-existent source, Noah and Corey have been dropping bodies right and left when it comes to reporting scoops and leaks from their inside sources. I mean, like, these guys were way ahead of the curve when it came to these Disney's Plus shows. And I think they're saying to expect about 9 Star Wars shows over on Disney Plus between now and when the next Star Wars movies hit the big screen in 3 years. As far as this Lando series is concerned, we have very little details other than Childish Gambino himself is coming back to reprise his role as Lando Calrissian. I'm really unclear if this also means bringing back Billy Dee Williams to do this interesting thing where you might have OG Lando narrating his adventures as a young space pimp trying to make his way through the galaxy. But this does sound like the folks at Lucasfilm have this big interest in doing more with Lando Calrissian. Now, this Lando Calrissian series is a rumor and it hasn't been confirmed yet. My guess is that if we were in a different situation regarding this pandemic, there would be a whole lot of Star Wars news coming next month at Star Wars Celebration if it hadn't been canceled for this year. But even still, Lucasfilm Publishing appears to be very active at San Diego Comic-Con, releasing a whole lot of news about the High Republic stories that are going to be jumping off in January of 2021. And I haven't had a chance to look at that stuff yet, but I plan to talk about it in an upcoming video. But right now, I want to tell you guys why this Lando series is important. So I want to take you back 2 years to what happened in the lead up to Solo. The film debuted at the Cannes Film Festival 2 years ago in 2018. During an interview, Kathleen Kennedy said that she was very impressed with Donald Glover's performance as Lando, and she said that Lando would receive the next Star Wars story standalone movie. Kathleen Kennedy walked that statement back a day later, and in her official statement, she said the focus is and always will be on Han and Chewie's adventures, but that a Lando project would be something they'd consider later. After Solo underperformed in theaters, Bob Iger fell on the sword at the end of the year, and he said Solo probably would have had a better turnout if it had been a December release instead of sticking with the May release, especially after the massive reshoots required to complete the film in the same schedule after Kathleen Kennedy replaced the original director team of Phil Lord and Peter Miller with Ron Howard, who ended up reshooting 70% of the movie. After the entire Star Wars sequel trilogy wrapped up and Bob Iger had a chance to evaluate the Lucasfilm purchase, the announcement was made that Star Wars would focus on Disney Plus content and return to theaters after a 2 to 3 year break. Now, what we're now hearing is that Lucasfilm will release a Star Wars film every other year in December, starting in 2023. In the meantime, the focus will be on content appearing over on the streaming service. So this all set up the conditions for Kathleen Kennedy to deliver good on that Lando Star Wars story that she mentioned back in 2018. Jason Ward over at Making Star Wars said that he felt Solo would have been better off if it had been a Disney Plus series. And looking back, I have to agree. What if we'd had an entire hour to set up Han and Kira's backstories and relationship on Corellia? An entire episode to give us an idea of Han's time with the Empire before we see him meet up with Chewie on Mimban. A full episode that dealt with the riot on Kessel, and a full 45 to 60 minutes to do the Kessel Run, along with a double episode to deal with everything in Act 3 of the movie. I mean, I really enjoyed Solo, but turning it into an 8 to 9 hour series on Disney Plus, that would have made the story so much more rich. I haven't read the Solo novel yet, but I know it contains a lot more information than the movie did, and maybe we could have had a chance to see all of that stuff that was in the book on the streaming show if it had been a show instead of a 2-hour movie. So you see how a story like Solo, which was really going to appeal more to the hardcore fans, more so than the casual audience, would have been better if it had been on Disney Plus. I also want to take you back to 2018 when I kept saying that if there were going to be a trilogy based around Han's early adventures and the whole Crimson Dawn thing they set up, that the remaining parts of the story ought to happen on the streaming platform, which back then it didn't have a publicly known name. Now, I don't know if this rumored Lando show will include Han Solo's adventures or be part of whatever was expected to be part of the continued adventures of Han and Chewie. What I do know is that Alden Ehrenreich was signed to do 3 movies. I thought I saw where he said he would be interested in doing a Han Solo project over on Disney Plus, but don't quote me on that because I don't remember where I read it or if I even read it correctly. Look, what we do know for now is that Bob Iger said the focus is going to be on Disney Plus content, and I would actually prefer it that way. Right now, Star Wars has the opportunity to tell stories in multiple media formats and then have them all come together in this big tentpole event on the screen. They can tell smaller stories that might not appeal to the casual audience on Disney Plus. And if it's good, it'll get the fans talking, which will have everyone else stopping to pay attention. If you don't believe me, just look and see what happened with the Child, or Baby Yoda as he's known by the casual Star Wars crowd. I don't think it would be too much of a stretch to say that Baby Yoda's popularity may have clipped some of the interest around The Rise of Skywalker in December. But anyway, hey y'all, it's looking like Lucasfilm handed the bag to Donald Glover to get him to come back and portray Lando Calrissian in a project.
I'm gonna be on my ship, in my quarters, waiting for you to bring me my share.
We don't know much else right now. Could it be building up to a bigger project involving the adventures of Han and Chewie, and possibly Darth Maul as the leader of Crimson Dawn, and maybe even Boba Fett at the height of his bounty hunting prowess? Right now, who knows? But if they can do for Lando what they just did for The Mandalorian by taking a show that I really didn't want to see and turning it into like...
Childish Gambino was excellent, but Lando was kind of a bitch in this movie. Like, Lando, you a bitch, man. Like, and I'm saying that, but y'all know that I have never been a fan of Lando Calrissian, ever. So, you know, if they did make Lando gay, it wouldn't affect me anyway, because I never liked Lando. I never really cared for the character.
I mean, am I the only person who's ready for October to get here so we can see Din Djarin, Baby Yoda, and Force-sensitive Moff Gideon? I'm talking about Captain Rex and Ahsoka Tano making a guest appearance to set up whatever their spinoff is going to be. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Disney Plus might be the best thing to happen to Star Wars since George Lucas sold his company over to Disney. But anyway, I'm looking forward to talking these Disney Plus shows with you guys, and I can't wait to get back to talking The Mandalorian with all of y'all. I've got a couple of Moff Gideon videos that I didn't get to put out last week because I was working on a project for one of my other channels, but I can't wait to have that discussion with y'all. Since I mentioned The Mandalorian and the stuff related to Moff Gideon that's in the pipeline, hey, don't forget to check out my last video about Luke Skywalker and the Darksaber, because I said some things that are going to set up those Moff Gideon discussions. Anyway, I'll keep you guys posted on the ongoing developments related to this Lando Calrissian project that Kathleen Kennedy said she wanted to do back in 2018. But real quick question. How come this doomcock loser Randy has all this inside information on Kathleen Kennedy and Lucasfilm, but he didn't know that they handed the bag to Childish Gambino to come back and do Lando?
Everything you've heard about me is true. Thanks, love.
And that there might also be an old Lando project with Lando and Jannah going off on some adventure too. I mean, what happened to all his leaks that the folks drinking his Kool-Aid are quick to claim are only rumors that should be taken with a grain of salt? I guess his source didn't get the memo on that one, huh? But anyway, it's all good. Hey man, I understand. A lot of people smoke crack because they can't afford that pure uncut. It's just like how the Acolyte squad ain't for everybody, and I mean that. And it's why I love y'all for supporting me on each and every video. And with that one, I'm out until the next one. So thanks for watching. Y'all keep on breathing, and may the force of others be with you. Always.